come like just insert itself into your
1978.
God damn.
I was 4 years old. This is before hip hop was called hip hop. I went to the beach with my stepsister, who was just the neighbor down the street. She took me. I was 4 years old. I was on my I think roller skates, and I saw b-boys.
Yeah.
And they were like Hispanic and Black Americans, and I was just standing there watching them. And this is when it was electronic and disco, and they were like pop locking, and they were just moving. And then one cat just started body popping, and I started emulating them. So I took my skates off, and I was like in front, like copping. And my sister, who was a little bit older, she looked at me, and they're all like, "Oh, shoot, check Shorty out. She's rocking it. She's rocking it." So I was like, oh, we kept going back. I became their secret weapon. So they used to have like little battles or shows, right?
Stuff, yeah.
It's 1978 on Venice Beach. So all of a sudden, once they saw I could flip, and then...
What, like actually flip?
Yeah, so it's like...
What, like a fucking backflip?
Yeah, kind of like in the sense, like they could flip me because it was like, okay, she's agile, she's only 4.
We got a mini gymnast.
Yeah, like literally. Like it was that whole thing of, yo, Shorty can actually copy really well. So it was like, do this. And I was like, and they were like, okay, let's go. Yeah, so all of a sudden, like that was my first experience of hip hop.
Yeah, like
before
culturally.
Culturally.
Yeah. Bruh, fucking, these are the stories. This is what we want to hear.
Now we're gonna get to 16.
Now
you
we're
ready
gonna get
for
to 16 because this is where, and this is where I'm sort of like, I've got this other little thing, right? Because then because the first time I heard of you,
okay,
your name was Shorty RV.
Shorty RV, yes.
Shorty RV.
Same way.
And okay, so when we came in, I was part of like a crew, and we had Kimikaze.
Yeah.
Okay, so she was Philo.
Yeah.
And so
she was Shorty too. She became Shorty, right?
Well, no, people called her Shorty because she was fucking like 3 foot flat.
Bless.
So yeah, like you could literally swing a punch down and miss her. But she people would see her and they were like, "Yo, this is when we were first." They were talking still about you, but you had gone back to the States, I believe, at that time. So tell me, like, you started like, well, because you're going to go into 16 and then like Shorty RV, and when did you start getting that rep up in that respect?
Sure. Well, as the reason why I let you know, like Shorty obviously came from being my height, but also 1978 when the cats were like, "Yo, Shorty can break.
Yeah.
She can pop. Like get in." So I kept the name. I always had it. So I changed the Y into an I. So SHORTI for Indonesian, my identity, and also individual, and then indigo. Like I had, how rappers go.
Then you had
we
to
just
have,
keep
like, all
going
these
and going and going and going.
Like Method Man, like
oh my God.
It's like, all right, Johnny Blaze. It's like, fuck, bro. There's only so much lines in your passport, bro.
It's just Shorty.
Yeah.
So I changed it to that, and I was a dancer. So all through this time, I've been a dancer. So I love my B-girl, breakdancing, that part of the culture. All of a sudden, from sneaking out to nightclubs at 13, 1987, which was the house and hip-hop clubs during Sydney time, which was absolutely incredible.
Like, what do you mean, like dope time?
Ridiculous. Like dancing and fun. And everyone, like, pure love.
Not the 90s where it's like...
No, the 90s are still dope in the house scene.
Don't get me wrong. It was cool when you were at Gas nightclub, shout out to Sam, when the place is getting shut the fuck up. And nobody knows because we were all downstairs. Listening to fucking Be Faithful by Fat Man Scoop for the fucking 50th time that evening. But, it was a good time. But anyway, Shorty so RV. So how'd you get that rep? Where'd the name come from?
So 1989, 16, I got offered to go on tour with Public Enemy.
Just casually.
No, it was about dancing. It was all about dancing. So I danced. So no. I opened up as a dancer, and then the group before us was Sound Unlimited Posse. Big ups to them.
Yep.
Then Sound Unlimited Posse opened up for Public Enemy.
Yeah.
But being that I was 16, the beautiful thing about it is I happened to meet, obviously, Public Enemy, the whole crew. They respected me, looked at me as like their baby sister. And it was a really good thing for me to see, because when I see grown men that gave me the amount of respect and believed in me, and also were like, yo, there's something about you. You got something. Like, you need to try. Like, have you ever thought about rhyming? Like, MCing and all that. I was just like, nah. Because they were like, you like a little MC light, Mirrah. Like, shorty, you can be doing something. You got to do it. And I was like, nah. Because I hated my voice. I used to get teased. I don't know if anybody, young people out there, any females out there, when you got a low tone, man, I was like, I bet your parents lied to you. You were adopted and you really a boy. Like, mad evil shit, man. So, like, I hated my voice. Like, the word hate, like, it's such a hard derogatory term to say.
I try to
so I actually, so, you know, as a kid, so when you have these pioneers, like, yo, your voice is ill. Like, you can do something with it. Like,
a bit of a contradiction
like,
to what you fucking
like,
actually
looking
believe.
at him like, what, really? So fast forward, I became 19. I went to London. I left school, 92, graduated. I went to London as a dancer, danced for Mark Morrison, went on tour, did music videos, all of this.
Mark Morrison. Big shout out to Mark Morrison.
Yeah.
I hope he's listening.
Yeah.
Return to the back. Still the jam.
And then danced for Top of the Pops. I was a dancer for Top of the Pops.
That's crazy.
Did a lot of TV shows out there, different names and stuff I can't remember. But the great thing is I got to meet a lot of, as a dancer, I got to meet a lot of men in the industry, and that was really good, because being a tomboy, being an artist as a female, and this is where it's interesting. So anybody that's out there who is a female that wants to get into the industry, and the young men that will meet, obviously, young women in the industry.
Women, as colleagues.
Thank you. I was just about to say that. As colleagues, the beautiful thing is I did meet grown men that actually I got respect from, because they said my demeanor was respectful, which I actually didn't know. Like, what it was is I was just a tomboy, and I never saw myself. You remember, like, you got to remember, growing up, I was an ugly duckling, right?
So it's not, I get it. It's not like you're not putting.
So I'm not putting anything
It's not
on
a female tip. It's more of a just
camaraderie.
Like the bros sort of.
Yeah, like I was like,
I can get that.
Yeah, so not naming names, but I met a lot of people that are in the industry, and they were like, "Yo, shorty, cool, like Mirrah, you know, what is it you want to do?" And I was like, "I want to do rhyme, sing, da da da." So how I got into rhyming was my ex. It's so crazy. His boy, he was at home, and I called him, but they didn't hear the phone ring or whatever, and I left my message on his answering machine, and all his boys, he played it, I guess, and his boys were like
in front of people.
Yeah, and he's like, "Raw, man, whose voice is that, man? She got an ill voice, you know, like what raw, like what type of, you know, what does she do? Like, it's like MC Light type shit, you know? You get me? You get me?
Yeah. Oh, and wait, that's right, because your voice would have stood out over there. Okay, yeah, I get
so
you.
he calls me and goes, "Babe."
'Cause I'm gonna like, how the fuck they getting this impression for fucking?
Yeah,
every time I fucking leave a voicemail, I sound like a dickhead. Fuck. Sorry. Hang on a minute. Fuck. Some cunt cut me off. Anyway, call me back. Yeah. No, anyway, keep going there. Go.
So I left a message on. No, I'm talking about old answering machines, like the message that you push down that has a cassette in it, yo.
Oh shit, the cassettes. Yes.
Yes,
Sorry,
the
continue.
cassette. So they were like, "Yo," so he brought me to the studio. This is my first rap attempt. Gotta remember, I was a dancer.
I like how you already tried to justify it.
Yeah, I had to justify it. It's 'cause it's that bad. I stood in the booth, and they're like, "Yeah, rap something, you know, like just." You know, and I was like, rap, tap, lap, fap. They were like, "Nah, man.
Like, oh shit,
we're not
bars.
trying to say just rhyming words, like bars, man." And I was like, "What is that?" So he's like, "Babe, get your lyric book." That I used to write poetry. I didn't used to write raps. I used to write poetry. So I did all this poetry on the mic, and then they taught me bars. They were like, "Take out that word, take out this," da, da, da. And then when I got that, I finally what's the beautiful poetic way of saying it? I finally tasted the nectar of what rhyming was. And I was like, oh.
That's when it fucks you up.
Then I was like, let's go hard. Fast forward, I get back to Sydney because my time's up, you know. I got to come back.
Yeah.
So now this is 1997 Sydney.
Yeah, because we were 99, 2000, and you were gone again.
Yeah.
by that stage, but you'd already, you know.
No,
left.
I lied. 1995 or 1996, because the Fear the Black Planet tour with
Yes.
Public Enemy,
Yes.
crazy stuff. I happened to be in a nightclub, and I'm standing there, and I could just feel my brother in the room, and it was just like this, because we got this weird spiritual connection, him and I, and I'll let you know. And I was like, man, Flav's here. Just when I said that, my boy is on the mic in the nightclub, like, yeah, boy. Like, and I just went, I knew it. I turned around and I was like,
senses were tingling.
yeah, and he looked over and he's like, Shorty. I was like, what's good? Like, how you doing? Like, he's like, we here. Like, I was like, you performed already? He's like, nah. He's like, what you doing? And I was like, man, I just came back from London. I was on tour dancing, but I was like, guess what? Guess what? He's like, what? I said, I'm rhyming, yo, I'm rhyming. He's like, word?
Because
He's
they
like,
brought that up to you before.
yeah, when I was
Yeah,
16.
mad.
So I ain't seen them since I was 16.
Oh shit,
Yeah.
that's a. But
Yeah.
it's funny how they'll remember you from the States, because like if you make a stamp on them when you're here the first time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like, that's your homie.
So Flav was like, yo, you coming on the stage with me, man. Like, just in the sense of be just chill, watch. And I was like, all right. So I was just sitting on the side,
Got
as
row
you do
tickets.
as a guest, you know,
Yep.
sitting and you watching. He stands there, and there's a moment in the show back in the day where Flav has his own part of the show. He's like, what's up, Sydney? And Sydney's like, ah. He's like, you be knowing for all these years that I'm Flavor Flav, and I'll be Chuck D's hype man, right? But none of y'all know I got a hype man. And everybody's like this. Even me, I'm like, oh, what? Like, because,
You like-
yeah, no, because I'm like, oh, this is part of the show. Like, so I'm waiting for the person.
Fuck, you got Flav
So
put you on the
he-
spot.
So he's like standing there, and he's like, but you don't know that she's from Sydney. They're like, yo. And I'm still sitting there like, what? Like, she from Sydney? I was
Hey,
like, who?
why you not
I
telling
was
me?
like, who's that? That's dope. He's like, yo, shorty, come out. And I'm still sitting on the side like, huh? Like, dumbfounded. That night, I happened to be wearing, this is old school, a baby blue FUBU outfit.
Of course you were. We all were.
Uh-uh.
Some of us did it. Came out like fucking Mace.
That's
Puff
how
Daddy
I
in a
felt.
fucking in a cheese grater.
That's how I felt. And he was wearing a yellow, bright yellow sweat. Like,
Course he
kind
was.
of, yeah. So
And he was
any-
actually sweating in it as well.
very much so. So it was crazy. I come out, and he's like, rip that. And I'm like, what? Mind you, respect, Chuck D is looking at him like, man, he doing this again. And what? Shorty know how to rhyme? Like,
Yeah.
like, you know, because he didn't, this is all ad-lib. This is
Shit.
the Flavor Flav ad-lib that everybody in the band is used to.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
this is my introduction. And he comes out, and so all of a sudden, and it was this moment, and this is the fun moment, y'all, that who haven't rhymed before or had that moment. It's such a beautiful moment when you take the mic. Like, I just went, boom, and he stood there, and I looked at him, and I just went, what's up, Sydney? And I know the rhyme because it's funny, because I actually, like, I had it half written and did freestyle, but I'd be like, I be that newborn Oriental, probe throughout your mental. My rugged raw style compiled to send you on the east to west venues. You receive my menus from all different styles, not the same, to blend you. I'm coming through like a steam train, leaving vapor. I make you sweat, creating acid rain, hearts to frame. You need the game, leapfrog shame. Yo, what's up, man? You about to feel this feminine. And it was like, Caw! And everyone was like, oh, snap. And he's like, yeah, welcome to the stage and welcome to PE Shorty. And then straight from that, we went into 911's a joke. It was like, he went one side, I went the other. Chuck D came through the middle. We were like, Koo. For the rest of the show, we were like, boom, boom, boom. And then I got off.
That's how I started. That's how I started my hip hop career.
And it was amazing.
I just fucking started my whole shit with public. One thing I'm really always fucking grossed out about is like how shit our history is here, but like probably worse how well it's been fucking swept under the rug.
Yep.
And you know, but I feel like, you know, if there's a silver lining to the unrest that's happening over there, it's actually making this global thing pop off where it's like, and deservedly, it's actually sort of shining a light on here to say like, yo, bro, like Australia, you got your history, yo, and like it's actually given an opportunity for, Indigenous here to actually.
No, you know what's funny about that, Lee?
What's that?
Every year, Indigenous and we as non-Indigenous, we walk.
Yeah, I mean that's true.
Every March, a march down the street in Sydney, down the street, towards for Yabin.
Yeah.
And they don't now, and only now because Black Lives Matter is happening, you kind of feel it. Dude, people been marching about Yabin for how long? Like, it just shows that should never be the excuse. That's what I'm saying, politely. Y'all have made an excuse because people have been marching for how long?
Yeah.
Angry Indigenous hurt souls have been talking about this for how long?
No, like I understand that. Like I definitely
so it's
understand.
Like,
you feel like
it's so exhausting to finally find an excuse to actually get it.
Do some shit about it.
Just
no,
responding.
110%.
Like there's no, to me, it's bullshit. You should never have an excuse. Like if this is finally the excuse because America said so, because America, like we need to understand we're our own continent.
Well, I think that's the thing. Like our identity is so fucking shaped up and warped and fucking like
and copied,
and copied. And there's this other fucking agenda that really arcs over it all. So it really like sweeps it under. So sometimes when these global shakeups happen, it's like, well, yeah, cool. Definitely, we've been ignorant and played dumb, but it's almost like, yo, like the rug's off now. Like everywhere,
everywhere.
Not just states and not even just here. It's like.
But you and I were having a conversation off when you called me to invite me for the show. And what I shared, guys, was we as humans, take race out of it right now. Just on a real situation. We as humans need to look at our reflection of self, only self, and think, how can I be a better person for others, for myself, for the community, for my friends, for peers, for people that I meet down the street, regardless. And also start admitting foul stuff that have come out of your mouths, foul stuff that we've shared as a joke and thought it was a joke within the team, shared like, everybody's done it, y'all. Not just white people, not just black people. Like everybody has an ignorant comment or even a racist comment. Everybody has it in us. Just admit it to yourself and go, I gotta do better. I gotta start researching now about everybody. Like actually do history now. You're not at school anymore. You're actually living life next to people that don't look like you, don't sound like you, don't speak like you, eat different foods. Guess what? I think we need a big ass festival after all of this. Have food on one side, music on the other, and have like a fast dating thing that everyone sits at a table and goes, so, where are you from? Teach me something new. What's the language to say hi? Oh, yeah. I never thought, uncomfortable question. I didn't know why this happens and why would you wear that? Oh, awesome. Nice to meet you. Next. Okay. What music do you like? My favorite color. But do you like blue? Yeah, I love blue. Okay, next. Do you know how much everyone would realize how we're so similar?
Yeah, fucking nice.
And different? And then be like, yeah, we're different.
Just have everyone move the banks down to like draw for a while.
Basically.
That they'll fucking get a crash course in like multiculturalism.
But I mean, we all need to be better at communicating. Stop making it black and white. Yeah, that's reality. I understand that. But let's kick that down. We acknowledge it, but let's be better humans.
I think you're right, though. Acknowledging self is fucking definitely a massive step in the fucking right, isn't it?
Yeah. Better humans, y'all. Better humans.